All right, Algebra 1A students. Welcome to part 2 of lesson 4.1, where we're using graphs again to relate to quantities. And in this video, we're going to be drawing our own graphs given a situation, a real-world situation word problem. And we're going to be asked to basically make a graph of it, like the ones that we were reading in our last video. So we're kind of doing what we did in our last video, but in the reverse order this time. So for example, we have this situation here where we're told that a model rocket rises quickly, then slows to a stop as its fuel burns out. It begins to fall quickly back to Earth until the parachute opens, after which it falls slowly back to Earth. So they want us to sketch a graph that can represent the height of the rocket during its flight and label everything as well. Okay. Now, 3 things that we have to label. We'll start with those. Number 1, title. Number 2, y-axis needs a label. And number 3, x-axis needs a label as well. So those are the 3 things that we have to make sure we label. Title, y-axis, x-axis. In this case, I think it makes the most sense to title this graph Model Rocket Flight, because that's what I'm showing my graph is of. My graph is of a model rocket flight. Okay, so I've labeled my title. On my x-axis, I'm going to put time. Most of the time, our x-axis is going to be time. I will tell you one thing. If at any point one of your 2 variables is time, it will always go along the x-axis. Okay, always, every time along the x-axis. Time is along the x-axis. All right, and then along my y-axis, the thing that's going up and down, the thing that's changing here in relation to time is the height of my rocket. So I'm going to put height over here on this axis. Okay, so I have model rocket flight, height over time. Obviously, when this rocket starts out, it's going to be at height 0. It's going to be on the ground when it launches. So I'm going to start down here. And then my problem said this rocket rises quickly and then slows to a stop. So it kind of slows down, its height's not getting so high, and it kind of stops right about there. So it rockets up and then slows down, so it curves kind of to a stop. Then it starts falling back down pretty quickly, falling back down, 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 until its parachute opens right here. And then right when its parachute opens, it just starts to glide gently back down to Earth. Okay. So as we can see, this is the rocket rising up. Here it kind of slows down to a stop, starts falling pretty quickly, and then boom, parachute opens and it glides back to Earth. And so when it starts gliding back to Earth, obviously the height is taking much less, changing much less frequently as time goes by, right? More time is taken to get from here down to here because I'm slowing my descent with that parachute. So it goes up real fast, starts to come down, and then it slows down, and it takes a long time then to hit the ground. Okay, so I'd like you to try one for yourself. This one's kind of interesting. Take a look here at, got it, number 3. It says, suppose we start with a swing, and we start to swing ourselves on a playground. Okay, so we got a swing, sitting on a swing set, playing in the swings. You move back and forth and swing higher in the air, higher and higher and higher. Then you slowly swing to a stop. What sketch of a graph could represent how high you are from the ground over time? Okay, and again, we want to label those 3 things. We want to label title, we want to label x-axis, we want to label y-axis. So title, I'm going to say playground swing. That's what I'm showing. I'm showing a swing on the playground. And again, over here, it's height over time. Notice they said that to me in this problem too, didn't they? They said, what is a sketch of a graph that could represent your height from the ground might change over time? Height over time is my 2 axes. Okay? And obviously, I start out pretty low, but probably not right on the ground. I'm sitting a little bit above it. And from here, I start to swing up kind of slow and then come back down to that same level. And then swing up a little higher and then come down to that level. And then swing up a little higher and then come down to that level. And then swing up a little higher and then come down. And I could continue doing this. Back down, I slow down to a stop. Okay, so this is what it looks like. My height goes up, comes back down. I get a little higher, come back down. I get a little higher, come back down. A little higher, come back down. And then I kind of slow down and start to come back through. Okay, so these are just rough sketches. Notice I didn't plot any points here. I'm not plotting any points. There's no even numbers on my x and y axis. I'm just showing what is happening to these two different quantities as time goes by. Okay, if you have questions about creating these graphs for yourself or what I am asking you to label, please make a note to ask me in class tomorrow. Otherwise, that's all I have for you. Have a wonderful night.